Playback. Oh my god, what happened? Hello everyone, this is Alex, and today we are going a little bit deeper with Ace Studio. So you've seen me play a little bit with Ace Studio already. In this previous video, I was going to my sessions and trying to replace the MIDI that I already had, the VST instruments that I am already using with Ace Studio. So if you're interested in that, you can go see the video. I'll put a link in the description below and probably up here. But for today, we're going a little bit deeper within the different functionalities of Ace Studio. I want to explore this for myself because I'm a classical music composer. I write music on paper. I hate working with computers, but I'm always on the computer because I have a YouTube channel. So I'm really not the good candidate for Ace Studio. Like you've seen all these review of like people in the pop industry who wants to replace vocals and then can really transform these AI samples to make it sound like electronic or something. Like I'm working with real instruments every day, like with real performers every day. So now I'm going into this trying to keep an open mind and see if it can convince me that it sounds real and it sounds interesting. Now, when I say sound real, of course, I don't say sound perfectly real, right? No VST instrument is perfect. And like I want to emphasize that there's always within a product something that is better and something that is worse. And then you balance the goods and the bads for every software, and then you choose for yourself what do you want to prioritize depending on your needs, depending on the type of music you're doing, depending on the other instruments you're using within this. So when I'm basing my judgment here for if it's good is if I believe it. So how to believe it sometimes is adding a special feature that no other VST is doing, or like hiding a certain imperfection with something else that gives me, this sense of the illusion that there's a performer, there's a real performer. It can be the vibrato, it can be the expression, the dynamics involved, it can be the different noise that I hear within the recording, sometimes the quality of the recording. So I'm doing this video because I'm curious about AI, and I realized in the last video that everybody has a special concern about AI, whether it is going to lose their job and then it doesn't sound real. They prefer VST instruments. They prefer, of course, like real performers, but then real performers cost money. But then, of course, these plugins cost money as well. I know it's a real challenge for us to like decide what we're going with. I'm just super curious with AI right now because it's going to be a tool that's going to help us, I believe, in the future, and they're gonna make our life easier. I believe you still have to be the main person in the driver's seat as a human to make the decisions on whether things sound good or bad. But it's a tool, right? Like VST instruments, like DAWs, like recordings when it appeared. Every time there's a change, people are scared there's gonna lose something. But it's just evolution, right? So let's just make sure that we keep the human in mind within this part of evolution, and we're going to be fine. Now, if you're interested in Ace Studio, I do have a discount code. You can have access to the website below, and then you can type Alex as a discount code, and then you're going to get 5% off. Now, before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I see a lot of you viewers that are not subscribed. So if you want to know more about orchestration, about writing for orchestra, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comment. Do you like AI? Do you hate it? Do you want to work with it? Are you curious? Are you mad? Let me know, and then we can start a discussion. Now let's get to working with Ace Studio. All right, so let's explore Ace Studio today. So at first, we're gonna go into the standalone application like this, standalone app. And you see that once you open it, it's like a DAW. It looks like a DAW, just maybe a little bit simpler. So you have these buttons, play, record, 4/4, 120. So you can really set the tempo of the music. And then you have these tools to listen to or to record. You have a metronome that you can use. I'm going to use that. And you have a loop as well. So all of that. So let's first create a new track. So you have to double click. These are actually your tracks. They're not named yet, but you double click and then you decide whether you want to generate from a general vocal from MIDI or instrument from MIDI. So I'm gonna go into the orchestral sounds that they have. So I'm gonna choose and generate instruments from MIDI. So we have a group of violins here. So I'm gonna start with the violins. And now for this, I'm going to record something and then I'm going to let it process and I'm going to see what it comes up with. So I'm going to record something actually. So not necessarily import MIDI. You can decide to import MIDI maybe if you want something that's already there. But I'm just going to try and record something real quick and see what it comes up with. Note that when I record though, what you hear is really basic MIDI instruments. It's only after when I'm done that it process and then transform it into AI. So let's try this. I'm going to do something that it's both rhythmic and longer notes, so a little bit varied, 2 sections. All right, so there's a few notes that I did wrong. I think that this part here I really wanted on the grid, so I'm gonna just replace the MIDI real quick. These kind of rhythm, you know, you don't necessarily lose the natural feel, even with VSTs. If you replace them on the grid, it's actually much better because, you know, in a real world, musicians will play together and will play tight. So if it's not tight, I mean, we will lose a sense of realism in a way. And then there's these small notes that I hit by mistake, so I'm gonna take them off. Gonna clean this a little bit. So it's not processing it quite yet. Did I hit any? These are actually appoggiaturas. Yeah, what is this? Maybe not put so many gap between these. This is good. I think this one, I make it a little bit longer so we can hear it. Yeah, this looks good. So once you're done with this, you press play. And when you press play, it's going to render it and it's going to play afterwards. All right, so already it sounds pretty cool. I noticed that the first group, I did longer notes. It's actually analyzed it as a different articulation. So you really have to have them more or less. I don't think it's an exact science, but more or less the same duration. Maybe this last one, put it a little bit longer like we did here. Otherwise, it was pretty much equal. So let's listen again and then we'll continue into the rest of the phrase. Wow, pretty cool, pretty cool. Especially the beginning, I was surprised by the amount of vibrato. This is pretty cool. It's almost sounds like a cello actually. Like when you listen to it like that. it's not a big deal if you're not really picky about that. I put in a violin section and just this little note. It sounds like a cello, but there's the realism is there. The idea of VST instruments, like how to say it's a good VST instrument. To my students, I say, if you believe it, right? If it's exposed, sometimes VST, you won't believe it because you realize, well, there's some things that don't work. But even the same sound, when you put it in a different context, with maybe a little bit more instruments around it, maybe the imperfections will go away, and then you're going to believe it. So for a studio here, how I evaluate if it's good or not, I say, do I believe it, right? There's certainly some things, small things, in terms of the recording. Some people say it's a little bit like very real. It's like a concert setting a little bit. And sometimes the quality of the long notes, some of these notes, like if you listen really, really closely, you realize it's AI, right? You realize that something is off. It's not a real instrument. But once in the context of maybe with the other strings, we're going to add some more strings afterwards, then you believe it. And some other things can distract you from the bad things. So this is one of them. This vibrato, very natural vibrato that goes on this I note. And then this here. This very quick da-da-da. This is super hard to do with a VST instrument because these short notes, you have to change the articulation because if you use long notes, the long note articulation for, let's say, BBC, it's not going to work on these short notes. But then if you use the staccato articulation for these for these short notes with the BBC, then it's gonna sound like it's just gonna sound like it's not gluing together. So whatever people say about a studio, this is very cool because it adapts to the articulation very quickly and ties things together, which you need so much work with VST to do. So let's keep listening. I think this high note is not right. Maybe maybe just ID is much more expressed. Yeah, this whole part is so pretty. I mean, like real performers will say it's not real, right? It doesn't sound real. It's super exposed. Don't forget that it's super exposed now. But what takes me here, this jump of note, there's a little pause between the two, which is something naturally a player would do. So it's pretty impressive. Because it has to skip a string actually, so they can't do a perfect legato. And this is cool, like the ending, da-da-da, the little diminuendo it does naturally. This is again something you would have to take a lot of time to place when you're working with VST instruments. You'd have to work on the expression, and then sometimes it's not soft enough, and then maybe add some volume, but then it messes with your reverb if you're using the reverb from the VST instrument. So. And don't forget, I just recorded this. I replaced some of these MIDI notes, and then it does that. Some people would say, well, it doesn't give you a lot of precision over things, a lot of control over things. But what I would say to these people is that this is exactly what I had in mind when I was playing this, having these kind of expressive in and out dynamics. this is what I was looking for. So, and I was feeling it that way. I don't know if when I played the notes at this certain duration, the AI recognized that I wanted something expressive with a lot of coming in and out of the voicing, something a player would do naturally, a violin player would do naturally. And then the ending. Now here, I don't know why my MIDI is cut. Can I do consolidate? Yeah, just simple consolidate and it will fix it. It's very nice. So I tried a little bit of different things since I've had this software, and it's not always that good. Sometimes you will get like some bad results. Like I've had some different times where the pitch were very inconsistent. It wasn't the best, or sometimes just a very steady dynamic with not so much expressive layer than like this. So I'm not sure. Maybe sometimes you have to, re-render the MIDI. Maybe it creates a different result, and then you work from there. So let's add another layer here. So I'm gonna add a viola, and then adds a bunch of notes. See what it comes up with. All right, it's not the best counterpoint, but this will work. So I'm gonna replace these notes. I don't know why the MIDI is so off. Maybe it's my, maybe I'm playing really off, but I'm gonna place them right on the beat, especially for this. But for these long notes, it's not very important. I might just change the last note. I think I was not satisfied with this. Maybe this actually comes down to the F here. So then they finish together right here. I think they should be finishing together here. Yes. Now let's listen to what it comes up with for my viola and hear it within the context of my other line as well. It's like a trumpet at the end. I'm not sure what it is. What is this? Okay, I cut the MIDI. I'm not sure what Ace Studio was thinking. I was looking for here, but whatever. For this, it's pretty cool. I think only these short notes here, they don't quite match the long notes up here, so I'm gonna have them be a little bit longer. It would be cool if, like, eventually AI realize, okay, they should be the same length, and then they adjust the other one, or they use like a master track or something. There's already like tools like this for vocals, actually, like how to adjust the vocals rhythmically with other vocals. So it might come eventually. This note here, the entrance is a little bit too early, so I'm gonna put it here. Otherwise, it's pretty okay. I might like bring down the viola a little bit in the mix, just so we have a focus on the upper line. So the mixer is right here. And just put it 3 dB down. Okay, so let's have another one. And now let's use a cello. And then this will be a last track for this. Okay, let's do it. Not bad for a 3-voice counterpoint that's improvised. This shows that I'm a composer. Just gotta make sure that these are on the grid. It's pretty like user-friendly. Like I'm using pretty much the same shortcuts that I'm using in Ableton. I work with Ableton, if you can believe. Some people don't like Ableton, especially in the orchestral world. But I do also electronic music, so I use Abletons. So yeah, it's pretty intuitive, A-Studio, it seems, with this interface. You know, I haven't used it a lot, and I'm already getting the hang of it. Put this here. Oh, this is my long notes. I actually very much loved how everything fell together within the end, so I'm not gonna touch it so much. Gee, I'm just gonna leave it like this, and then we can render and then listen to it. Not bad. I really love the beginning here. Like, these short notes. Like, there's something to it that's so real. I mean, yes, it's AI, and some people would say that it doesn't sound perfect. Of course, like, some VSTs have better quality to it and maybe more attack, maybe more like a Hollywood kind of feel to it. But I don't have the same ears as many of you. I have the ears of a concert music composer. I'm thinking of real instruments, like actual real instruments beside me that are playing in front of me. And when I hear this, these small notes, there's something to it that's so real. There's something else to it that it may be just a little bit too short, but the attack is pretty impressive. And just the type of articulation, like really soft and quick attack. It really has this kind of unique feeling of something that's real, and also the way that it's playing with the dynamic. It's not all equal, right? It's chun 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 chun. You really have this feeling of a bowing that's kind of playing with the rhythm. A real musician that's playing with the rhythm. Maybe these notes here, I'm not so satisfied with them. Maybe I can ask him to re-render this part here. There's some notes, especially the low notes. And actually, I think I'm going too low here. This is not possible, so I'm gonna just send it one octave above. And there's some notes here and there that's a little bit strange, but it's nothing to worry about. Maybe with when you listen to with the rest. I'm listening right at the end for the kind of room tone and the resonance of the sound. It's good, and then the room tone disappears. It's something you would do in a real recording as well. You would just keep kind of a reverb, the reverb that you might add in your studio sound, and then tune down the kind of effect of the room tone. So then the room tone disappears, but you hear some of the reverb just a little bit longer. So yeah, it appears that this is coming from real recordings. So now let's try to have some fun. So AI tools I want to use that inspire me or add a layer, music enhancer, voice changer. This is a lot of things here, okay? I'm gonna ask him to add something to double my first violin. So for this, inspire me, or add the layer, yes. Then you select this, and then you decide the type of layer. So maybe a drum or guitar, no. I'm just gonna say with like maybe woodwinds. So woodwinds to harmonize, or no, a solo woodwind to a group of woodwinds to create small rhythmic counterpoint in the first part, and then some doublings for the melody. Okay, let's see what it come up with. So this might give you some ideas for arrangement. I don't know how like good this is. We're gonna just see. Like I don't need ideas for arrangement usually, but maybe you do. In the meantime, I'm gonna do music enhancer. So classical string. Actually, this is analyzing my audio, and it's analyzing classical string quartet composition featuring a solo violin lead accompanied by second violin, viola, and cello. The piece is set in a minor key with a moderate steady tempo. The lead violin performs melancholic lyrical melody characterized by expressive vibrato, etc., etc., capturing the acoustic resonance, small counterhalt with minimal artificial reverb. Yes. The dynamic shifts subtly between piano mezzo forte to emphasize the emotional arc of the melodic lines. Okay. Not sure this is all true, but if I do enhance, it's actually generated some other things, maybe from a previous session I had. Okay, so let's let it some time to generate this. I think this is ready. So let's listen to my woodwinds now. Actually, I think it's a little bit delayed. I really loved this, but just for the fact that it needs to be really in sync, I think this is, yeah, it's supposed to be. Actually, maybe there's one thing here I can put a little bit closer. We're gonna see if it's aligning. But yeah, it did add like a bar or something. So let's listen. Back. Oh my god, what happened? That's pretty cool because the AI trying to make a piece out of what I did. You know, I had this material in the beginning, this more rhythmic, and then I forgot about it. But then it decided to follow what I was doing, but it brought it back afterward, like this here. This is super cool, actually. And then it's blending these two materials together. Wow, I said that I don't need any more ideas, but this is actually pretty cool. And then I don't know about the harmony. Sometimes it might be a little bit too jazzy for the style, but like I like jazz, so that's pretty cool. Like this one here. Ooh, this is like a 7 chord or something. And then I think it's a little bit delayed at the end. Yeah, it's well placed here. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. So let's go into my music enhancer thing. Let's listen to what they came up with. Okay, so that's cool. Like it created something from my, ideas. It's really not the same music, but I guess that's what Inspire Me is all about, and music enhancer. And I mean, don't say you can enhance my music. I'm a professional composer. Like it's using the 1-5-1 kind of idea with the harmonic melodic minor, and then this here, this interval. This was actually in my piece, so they did use this this passage to create this. What about this one? Seems like a more virtuoso. 4. Again, the same kind of a approach. 1, 4, 5, 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. It's kind of making something out of, not much. There's only a couple chords. I like that it started to modulate at some point. It went on it did the 7-3, so that's like a 5-1 in major. But then it went back into the minor. I'd say harmonically, it's not very interesting, but surely can give you some ideas, maybe, or some arrangement ideas, maybe. This is a cool tool maybe you can use. But let's have a little bit of fun. So let's ask him to add a layer. Then I'm gonna select everything. Percussions. It's like subtle orchestral percussions. Like triangle, maybe small wood blocks, glockenspiel, vibraphone, etc. See what it comes up with. That's so fun. I'm having so much fun, guys. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to have so much fun. But man, this is so cool. This gives so many ideas just to what instrument you can use, right? If you don't know anything about percussions, like ask AI to produce something like that, and then you realize, yeah, this is a group of like bells or something. You have some wood blocks, some hand clapping. This is a timpani, low timpani. And then some brushes. This is a wood block. And then some little small cymbal that you hit like this. This is kind of funny. And the only funny thing is that they added pizzicato bass, like it's suddenly super jazzy. I thought they changed my cello. It's actually a double bass up here. It's actually makes for a pretty cool arrangement. I think it realized that it was missing some bass, so it decided to add it. And I don't know the lines that it's following. Is it following like the lines from my cello? It's actually a little bit delayed, but it creates this kind of a cool arrangement that not everything is happening at the same time. So it's pretty crazy, right? I mean, I wasn't expecting that at all. I'm going in this, I'm a classical music composer. Like, I want to work with real musicians all the time. I want to do everything myself. I write music on paper. But this is cool. This is neat. So what do you think? Is AI going to be the next thing after VST instruments that's going to make our workflow much easier? Or is it going to be something that's just a phase and that's going to die out and then we're going to stick with good old VSTs? Or maybe just go back with real musicians. That would work well, but real musicians does cost money, especially for, musicians that are starting, composers that are starting to write. We don't have access to all of these. We don't have access to a whole string orchestra, right? Like Mozart did. So in the meantime, we can use these tools to facilitate and to learn and to become better musicians. Now, again, if you're interested in the product, I do have a 5% discount for you. You just click the link in the description below and you write in the discount code Alex, and then it's going to give you this nice 5% off. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.